he was my boss way back in 2000. In 2000, so I was quite young. He was still understanding, learning the ropes. I think he was early on. He was a big influence. Then when I moved to Bombay, Rahul was a big influence. Rahul was a big influence later again in my life in Radio Fusion. And Prasoon, from the time I moved to Bombay, I think I learned. I think under Prasoon and Rahul, I learned a lot about how to go from being just a. I mean, I still had a very a Western sensibility to advertising. I became more rooted when I came to McCann. I started understanding how to take an insight and to distill it into a idea, and how to lead a team or how to convince a client. So the part of the argument, whether it's in your work or with the client, is something I learned in McCann, and Ramnal and Prasoon were instrumental in that. Is the intent there? Is definitely there, and I think in every agency the intent is there. Is as much time as it used to be there? Maybe not, but I think it's well compensated by the enthusiasm which the kids have to learn. So you end up teaching just as much, because I think their need to learn is just as infectious. So I think kids today question a lot more than probably we did when we were starting out. So you end up answering a lot of the questions which we never asked. They're asking. So they're learning a lot faster as well. So I think while the mentoring may not be the same Guru Siksha way of doing it, but it's become more interactive, the mentoring. So it's this exchange. I mean, nobody treats a junior now the way a junior was, like, he's way down the, he's right next to plankton. No, he's not right next to plankton anymore. Because they also bring a very fresh perspective, and the rate of which everything around you is changing. You never know what will spark what. So I think at least here we have a lot of young guys who sometimes just baffle us with the way they think. And like I said, I mean, some of them are my mentors. So I think it may not be mentoring in the formal sense, but it's interactions and learning through a lot of interactions. The first piece of work that really, I think, got noticed both in the fraternity and in the award circles was there was this billboard many years back I done for Big Bubble. I mean, it was fun doing it, getting that one, when you finally had that one piece in your hand and you look at it and say, oh, we managed to get the kind of results we wanted. And so much so that, I was told that the client used to have this hanging behind his head in his office. And it was those days medals were hard to come by. We never won too many medals. I mean, as a country, we didn't win too many medals. So it was fairly awarded. It was also my first Grand Prix at New York Ad Fest, so it was quite close to my heart as being the first one. In Kuala Lumpur, did something on Colgate, which was very satisfying because it was Colgate. It's the kind of brand on which you don't expect people to do creative work. It's a kind of brand on which everyone cribs about the fact that there are so many rules and so many regulations, and there was a local initiative which needed to be done, and we managed to do something in that local initiative, and it ended up being a Grand Prix at Fest. And that year, this along with some of the work we did at YNR got Colgate the Client of the Year at the local show. I don't know what the perception of it, what the image of it, but does it feel great to win an award? It does. So the joy is the same, but yes, it is definitely easier to win an award than it used to be. I never used to hear so many medals happening when I started off in this business, I still remember the first time I won an international medal. It was one of the only 3 won by the country. So it was not easy winning those days, but I think it's also because I think our craft has improved a lot today. I think our craft and a lot of things have become world class. Ideation, and the most importantly, the way we package ideation. I've seen so many really good pieces of ours which come from this country. I mean, a earlier when I used to go to shows and all, I said, good stuff from our country which was not packaged well enough for it to be awarded. I think the big change has also been that we now realize the potential of our ideas and we make sure that they look as good as they are. In McCann, I think it's anyone can walk into anyone's room. I think it's also because a lot of us, there are still people in this agency who've been here, been with this agency and had an association with the agency which is over 8 years, 9 years. So I think when all of us were at McCann earlier on, it was such a small place. I don't think we had enough depth to be hierarchical. It was such a small place that we were all in, for us, everyone was each other's only bouncing board or each other's art partner, copy partner, so whatever your designation is. So I think that helped. So and that's a culture which has continued on. I can still walk into a person's room anytime I want. I don't have to take an appointment with him or anything of sort. If he's free, he's going to entertain me no matter what. And the same goes to creative writers who follow me. They can walk into his room with their issues. So yeah, maybe we have less time as we had earlier, but it's probably one of the friendliest agencies I've worked in. And it also helps because it's a young agency. If you look at McCann, even as people, whether senior management or junior or just senior management, everyone it's quite a young management. So that just helps keep the place younger, keep our interaction younger, less formal. Yeah, I think in McCann, every creative person is a part planner. Okay, it's something which, because it's something which the old school McCann, or old schooling of McCann was always about that creative is not alienated from strategy. So to the extent that we used to know the planning tools, there used to be workshops for us to teach us the planning tools. So, and it's something which is carried on, right? So if you'll find most creative people in McCann can have as conversant with planning as a planner is. And anyways, a planner is supposed to be part creative and a good creative is supposed to be part planner. I think it's just, having insightful conversation is something that's very encouraged in this agency, and the kind of brands we have, it's also a must.